Hello friends, Techman Pat. Today is a classic review of a product that I have absolutely loved in the last 2 months. So yes, this is a bit of a spoiler. I actually like this product. This is the Apple TV 4K edition, and the reason I bought this one actually is because I had a voucher for Good Guys and I was able to use it on here and get a bit of a discount. So it cost less than the non-4K version. So I was like, hey, why don't I get the 4K and see what it's all about? Now, there is a pretty cool reason to get the 4K, but it really requires your TV to also have the requirements met. So let's start with that. What do you need to actually use this? And then we'll talk about what it does. So if you want to make the most out of your 4K Apple TV, you need a 4K TV, and you also probably need a 4K TV with HDR10, maybe if you want to, and a very good refresh rate, and also very good cables. So HDMI cables, if you want to check out a video on what to do or how to pick the right cable, see below in the description. I did a video about that specifically to do with the Apple 4K TV and a 4K TV with HDR10. Now, let's be clear, streaming in Australia is still held back by your internet speed, but if you are on the NBN and are getting a good speed, this is a good way to actually make the most of it. So imagine this to be a little Apple iPad or actual phone that looks like it's in a box and connects to your TV, because all you have on here is actual little apps, and you load up those apps from the App Store connected to your Apple account, and you can download these apps and watch them. So for example, Netflix, Amazon, if you have a Plex server, anything that requires media consumption. So all the 7play, 9 News, or whatever channels we have with their own apps, Catch Up TV, you can use on here, which is actually really, really cool. So if you kind of want to watch some TV with ads, you can watch it through those apps, and they work really, really well. The remote is really, really cool. It's a touch remote with 4 buttons, and that's it. I found it to always work really well, and you only need to charge it maybe once every 2 months. I still haven't charged it, which is a really cool thing. Mainly because you don't really use it for much. You don't just go clicking, but you might take a while to choose the Netflix show you want to watch. So let's talk about why the 4K and how it works with Netflix and Amazon, because those two providers are really the only ones that provide really high quality 4K content. Now obviously YouTube does, but it's a little bit different. So let's start with Netflix. Netflix 4K content is absolutely fantastic through this into a 4K HDR10 TV. It's amazing. If you put on a show like Animal Planet or Our Planet with David Attenborough, it is beautiful. Sit back, enjoy the colors, enjoy the quality, but also make sure that you're paying for the 4K plan on Netflix, which is almost 18 Australian dollars per month. So expect the cost to rise up even when you spend more. Amazon, on the other hand, has 4K provided default in their basic plan. And man, is it gorgeous. Some of those shows that are on there, Hannah was amazing in 4K. The show not so much, but it looked great. And of course, the Grand Tour was brilliant in 4K and in HDR10. Now, I wasn't sure if it was actually pushing out HDR content, as in the actual video, but it looked really, really nice on the actual TV. Well, is 4K actually worthwhile? Not really. If you're not paying for Netflix 4K and maybe you have Amazon and YouTube, is those two providers worth having a 4K output on here? Probably not. Not much content as streamed at pure 4K. Even movies at, let's say, the latest Avengers movie was not shot in 4K. In fact, it's only shot at 2K. And you know, most of the movies that come out on Blu-ray are not even 4K. They're just upscaled 4K video. It's not true 4K. So if most shows aren't actually filmed in 4K, then why would you need this? Well, Netflix is the only provider of TV shows that requires all their TV shows and films to be filmed in 4K. It is one of the only, and literally there are companies that have made cameras specifically to fill that need. But big blockbusters are just not doing it, because 2K resolution is just good enough to save money, because if you double that to 4K, you're not actually doubling the pixels, you're quadrupling it. So there's more computational power, more requirements for rendering. There is no animated shows in 4K, by the way, and we're still on this cusp of 4K. I still thought that we're gonna get more 4K content 2-3 years ago, and we still haven't really got it. Netflix 4K, you pay more, but you do get it. So Netflix is on the forefront, but there's still not that many. YouTube 4K, absolutely fantastic. You don't need the fastest internet to watch it, which is great. But again, it's YouTube. It's not like you're watching movies or TV shows on there. Sure, it's a couple of videos. I mean, this video is in 4K. Doesn't mean you're gonna watch it on a 4K TV through your Apple TV 4K, just for YouTube. Amazon, on the other hand, is a bit of a black sheep. It has 4K and works really well on its TV. So, is this actually smooth as butter? Absolutely. It's another Apple product that does it very well. The menus, everything works smoothly. Logging in, the apps work really, really well. The things I want to suggest is make sure you have the right cable and you are wired in through the Ethernet port that it has over here. It has only 3 ports, HDMI, Ethernet, and power. Make sure you're connected through the Ethernet if you want to stream 4K content. Unless, if you don't want to be wired in and you are unable to, make sure you're connected to the 5 GHz channel on your Wi-Fi to get the most out of it. Otherwise, you will see stutter and you will see lag when streaming 4K content. At $250, this device makes your non-smart TV smart, or if you already have a smart TV with a crappy system like an Android TV that never gets updated, this will make it smarter. I believe this is one of those items that will stick around as long as your TV, and even when you swap out your TV potentially to a newer TV from an old one, this will stick around because it's fairly well future-proofed because of all the reasons I've just said before. 4K isn't really there yet. So buying this, you're kind of getting that really high quality HDR with potentiality of 4K content. I mean, it's beautiful. The colors are absolutely fantastic. And obviously I'm gonna do a review of the TV that I'm using for that. And you might see some more screenshots of that. But again, the colors this little machine can reproduce is absolutely amazing. Now, the main difference between the non-4K is this little rivet in between that allows for air to pass through, because this gets a lot warmer than just your non-standard Apple TV. Now, if you aren't in the Apple ecosystem, feel free to still buy it because it works really, really well as a standalone device. Now, this has a memory size of 32 gigs. Now, I actually couldn't fathom why anybody would buy the 64 gigs spaced one, but then I realized you can download games, other apps, and then I thought maybe, yeah, but you wouldn't play games on this. You can, and you probably wouldn't really download too much stuff to it. It is more of a streaming device, but it compares more to streaming devices. So it could be your Chromecast or your Vodafone streaming device, but for comparably to a Chromecast, you still have to have a device that connects to it and streams to it. This is a standalone, and that's why I actually really like it. All right, friends, summary time. I highly recommend this device. Maybe the non-4K version will probably be better, priced much better. I've seen it for 140, 180, so it's a really well-priced item. At 250, only if you must get 4K, because remember, not everything is 4K, and if you get upscaled content and a Blu-ray player, you obviously won't be using this. In any case, I really like the software. I really like the build. I mean, it looks pretty. The controller is absolutely fantastic, and the use cases that I have it for makes it worthwhile for me. Even if you have a smart TV, this makes it a little bit smarter. But 4K, not the best recommendation. The non-4K version, much better. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope this review has been a little bit interesting and made up your mind about picking one of these, especially for those people who aren't in the Apple ecosystem. Because if you are, it's a pretty quick choice. Oh, Apple has a streaming device, let's buy that. But if you're not, you might still be trying to make up your mind, and this is a pretty good choice as a standalone device. You won't need any other device trying to set it up. You can set it up all off from the actual device, but you do need an Apple account. Friends, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in another video. Bye.